Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, back to another season here of Inside Wrah. It's a bit of a new season almost, you could call it. We've been doing some interviews with this new roster for the past little bit, but this one almost certainly one of the most exciting ones we've had already. Adrenaline joining the show. What's up, man?
Yeah, welcome. Or thank you, man. I'm excited to be here. Excited to answer some
I
questions.
like you welcoming back as well. That's perfect. Obviously, we've gotten the chance to talk to a couple of the minds of the team already. As I'm sure, hopefully, people are aware of. That's been sort of through the season so far. At this very moment, you stand at 3-3 in the ESEA Open with 2 wins in a row, even if that includes a forfeit win as well. Would
Yeah.
you say the team is on the right track right now?
Yeah, I would definitely say we are. I think the first couple of games was a lot down to nerves.
Mm.
Um, Based on some of us, it was our first game, including for me, and it was being streamed and everything, even though it wasn't for as many people. I think that me and a few others could feel the pressure, and just getting used to that environment. And now I feel like both that we've gotten used to it, we know how it is. Like we also know how like the teams play. For example, we've always known like the better teams are not gonna have as much respect, but I mean I feel like we're better at countering that now that we've actually seen it in like a game scenario. So yeah, I definitely feel like we're heading in the right track.
How do you secure playoffs from your current standing?
I think the main thing for us is just to keep the motivation up and keep the belief up, because I think we all know that there's a chance that we can do it, and we all believe it that we can actually do it. It's just about keeping the right mindset and just believing that it's possible, because we all believe that we have the individual level and the team level to do it.
Do you have any specific thing you're working on as a team right now?
Um, The most like thing like right now is actually more in terms of practice, because we still have some small problems with where we don't really play that well in scrims, and then we go into an official, for example, the next day, and then we destroy. So I think it's just about the consistency in both scrims and in officials, because I feel like it's almost like we kind of switch into a new gear, like in officials, which is a
Mm.
good thing, but it would be nice if we had that gear in scrims as well.
Still staying on the team a little bit. Doxy, obviously, also a part of the team. What would you say it means to you, or for you to have a Danish compatriot, if you will, with you on this sort of international roster in your rookie season, in your rookie ESEA season?
Well, it means a lot for me, especially both because I've known him for so long. We're really good friends, IRL. We held a LAN party together a few weeks ago, for example. But yeah, just as well the experience. Like Dux has the most experience in the team, both in terms of hours in the game, but also in like officials and stuff like that. So just having that helping hand, like, is really, really good. For example, for me, who's mostly been used to not playing in a team environment.
Mm.
So getting that help from him has been really, really nice. And of course, also with them switching to IGL, that means that more of his ideas are coming through, and he has a lot of ideas.
You kind of touched on it there. You've been lauded by some of the teammates, maybe just in general, for some great individual ability, just in general. I think Docs even has a name on like a weapon or something that says something like "adrenaline is nuts." But I
Yeah.
think it's somewhat fair to say you've struggled so far in terms of the statistics in ESE League play so far. Would you talk to me about some of the challenges you maybe faced in playing this first season in ESEA?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming into a team environment is obviously a whole other aspect of the game
Right.
compared to playing in like pucks and stuff like that. And I've been mostly used to playing pucks, and trying to say it the most non-ego way as possible. I've always felt like I was better than everybody I
Right.
played with in pucks. And coming into an environment where you're like, okay, this guy's way better than me, and actually having to combat that has been some of the challenges. I think for me the most difficult has been like when I'm getting shut down, or a team that's really good at shutting me down. I think the aspect of coming up with ideas instantly about how I can counter what they're doing is quite tough. As like I've always said to my team, when we play good, I'm at the top, and when we play bad, I'm at the bottom.
Mm. Yeah. Um, that's not meant to pile on you being sort of towards the bottom or maybe in bottom for most of the statistical categories. It almost feels like watching, obviously, some of the games on my end, having casted some of them, but also just kind of looking through the statistics with who's entering up and who's sort of trading. It almost feels more like a conscious decision where you're obviously... It's encouraged that you pop off, if you will, on the T side especially, but you're still going in as like the first man, and you're still being that entry player, which is often going to be in a pretty fragile position where you're not going to be piling up the stats. Is that a conscious decision? You kind of going in first, and obviously it seems so far you not minding too much about the actual statistical element.
Yeah, it definitely was. As I just touched upon with Ducks moving to IGL a few weeks ago, we also switched some of the roles. But before that, I would definitely say, yeah, I didn't care about my stats at all. Like I was the hardcore entry. I didn't care if I went in first and I got traded. That was all I wanted. And if I could get a kill or two, that I would be fine with that. But I would say moving into my new role, I don't know if it's like caring about stats more, but it's like there is a certain responsibility that I play a good game with my new role.
Getting into SCL then, more so, it's already started for a lot of teams. Wrah competing with their first game now on the I think that's Sunday the 20th against Astral. Quite a few games ahead in terms of even the regular season. What does this kind of mean for you as a team, if anything in particular?
I mean, it's just another opportunity for us to show ourselves off. We've looked at it. There are some teams that we should be able to beat comfortably, and then there are some teams who, on paper, is way better than us. So we kind of take it as a learning experience and go along with it. Like our main goal as a team is to get into playoffs and then hopefully into intermediate of ECA. But doing well in SCL is also like a main goal for us. But I mean, it's more of a learning experience for us, I would say.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the SCL League. We're here with Wrah Esports. Took over the game between Wrah and Astral for the game day one. We start off here on Vertigo with Wrah on the T side and Adrenaline already getting in on the action. Him and Falcon both getting a kill each as the B site set to be defended. Okay, I'm still on it, even as Wrah tried to overtake. He faced a couple players with Adrenaline in the end. Actually winning that duel. Only one player left to kill. Such a bit of decent utility on him, but Adrenaline. Third kill. Anyways, he peeks back and forth between that box. Still looking for it as Suxi walks around the corner. Adrenaline just wanting that information all along. Still the clutch on board here for Adrenaline. A Danish man just jumping back and forth to reload, and it turns into an awkward exchange with no real damage dealt to one another. At this point, more than a psychological endeavor. With way too much time still on the clock, they barely do any damage to each other. To see Adrenaline finally get that bomb down. One of the most strange one-on-one duels to kick off a match you can see. Adrenaline back away. Oh! He had the jump on him. Suchi's still going to take the round. That is quite the endeavor to kick off this map of Vertigo between Astral and Wrah Esports. That just looked... That did not look pretty as a start. Adrenaline still had the 2 kills. I feel like he would have been in a position where that round would have been fantastic for him. Just such a good start if he nailed that one down. If he eventually finds a way to get the touch in the end, not going to happen. Maddie get the trade here to kick off the second round as well. Rifles up for Rob because of that bomb plant, so slightly better buy for them, you could argue, than what the CTs have on offer. Even if the Kayan could be the exception. Obviously the M4 on him, the rest carrying out those MP9s as Falcon makes his way up towards that ace site and beyond. Falcon not looking for it at all. Falcon fails to find the first, but he does do some heavy damage and actually gets the trade in the end. That's almost better than just killing off Lutaku. Having a bit of information as well to go off and walk into that B site, picking up the kill. Getting it essentially for free. Girl just now wants to go over that. Selling instead. Shot from him. And Wrah have one. Flutaka only on a bit. Wrah in the end with still some money to go. Of course, winning that round could be crucial in grabbing a bit of a lead here early on in the first half. Could definitely start to mount something of a streak. They are going to be facing a force buy. A little bit surprisingly, 4 deagles come out and an empty 9. All armored up here. Not a horrible buy from Astral, but they're going to have to live up to it. Archaean trying to be that man to do it. He only gets the 1 kill. The rotation's already on the way though. Tio missing on a couple bullets. It just Jack Blue instead. Actually, all of what the CT had on offer. Good round again by Adrenaline. He's up to 6 kills consistently. Getting those 2 kills in every round. Good to see him get going. An interview with him just recently where we talked about how he has been getting a little bit more accentuated the last couple of games. Obviously held that role with being more of an entry man and being in a more fragile position most of the time, but when he's able to rack up some of the kills, especially on that T side as the point of entry, alongside being that sacrificial lamb, that's when Wrah are the strongest. Right there, strongest. I'll creep up towards that A site, obviously. B was the one stacked, so a pretty free round for Wrah Esports. That's with Falcon creeping up. Also wanting to pad the stats a little bit here early in the game. Wonderful peak that is. Definitely secure that the CTs are nowhere close to this. Maddie comes up as well. The AK sprays, get a couple kills. Hard to give up 2 AKs here though. That's not ideal. We're saving the rest of them, but certainly giving up something to the surviving CT players here. We're going to be able to get out both with a rifle in each hand. All the same, Wrah on 3 rounds. Money is out. Would you say there's any specific challenges within the league, whether that's the teams competing or maybe the format or anything like that?
I don't know if you would put it down to just solely that, solely the SCL. I think it's more about maintaining like a good schedule for everything. And like we're gonna have, I think it's in March when the Phoenix League start. We're gonna have 3 leagues to look at, and of course when SCL start is 2 leagues, and it's a lot for us, considering that we're all busy people. Like we can't really play every day, unfortunately. So it's like I think the main challenge is just to keep focused on both things and be mentally ready for so many games in 1 week.
Yeah, obviously, you again touched on it there, but competing on a lot of fronts now between, as you mentioned, the SEA, Phoenix, and of course SEO is. What would you say the pros are? What would you say the cons are for competing on all of these fronts? As you say, not maybe practicing or not playing competitively at least every day, and obviously still being quite a young team in terms of playing as a 5 together.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the pros outweigh the cons, but it's like I guess the main cons would just be that it has the potential to tire everyone out with that many games. But then again, everybody in the team wants to play officials. We would choose an official over scrim, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. And of course, we're going to have so many games and so many games to show ourselves off, and more chances of doing good and getting good results. So I think we're just looking forward to that.
We need a couple more tier side rounds. This would definitely be the opportunity. Do not want to see them throw away too many of these rifle rounds when they've already gone past some of them in bad ways. They do have the AKs. Bro. Oh, KM on the flashbang. Big opportunity for Wrah not taken. He does avert some distraction here though. Wrah only have to face 2 players up in the A site if they go quickly. They do not. Oh, here's them step away even from that B site. Aggressive point of view. So Taco takes a peek into ramp. Holding it down as Adrenaline actually gets that opening. That was over in mid. Moved around the defense quite a bit here. Doxy does get traded. There's Falcon up next. He comes through. Almost getting the kill on Tio even. That's good enough. The 4-on-3. They rotate over. Gonna be pretty happy with this for now as long as Wrah doesn't waste it on that base site. Spotted 1. That's good enough again. Did not even need a kill. Site is there temporarily as Wrah pushes through a little bit here. On the edge of the smoke, they won't really expect them towards the edge of this wall. KM does flick around though. To leave it to a 3-on-3. It's Falcon. Flashing his way through, gets a lot of information on board, but runs away eventually. As Adrenaline just waits for that flashbang to come. It's time ticking for those CTs. Adrenaline has to peek up for this. He just doesn't. He gets the help instead. Nothing ended up being too necessary. Adrenaline only there for the 1 frag. That was sufficient. As Wrah tie things up, it's 4-4. Things have not been great for the... I think just looking at what the amount of kills that some of these CTs have. Areas they're failing in. That's not one of the... Adrenaline. A wonderful opening up in middle again. Oh, but he gets traded. What a nade. Let him ball back down. Oh my goodness. Tio with a textbook takeover in the middle. And he comes right back. This is for the 5th round. Their 5th round. What's turned out to be a pretty bleak half. It's only gotten bleaker as we've gone through it. Brown stacking up in Astral's favour. It's Wrah to try and win it out in a 3-on-3 on the final round of this first half. Nades are there. Molotov is in for the CTs. They don't decide to use any of it. And Wrah gets that bomb down securely. Come out with at least okay health here. And facing 2 ops on a retake. Smoked out admittedly. Wrah just holding the angle though. Gets the 2k. Oh, and the 3rd as well. Wonderful closeout from Wrah. As Wrah end up with 5, you could see there the streak was definitely building. Not least did they have that 6-rounder after Wrah, but even before that, you could tell it was going in their favour. As Wrah looked a little bit sloppy in those opening gun rounds, still come up with 5 rounds. What's the ultimate goal with the SCL? Is it just that juicy prize pool maybe you're looking at the moment?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it is no secret that we wanna do the best in ESEA. So we kind of see if we can do well in SCL, then we'll take that definitely. But it's like if we play well in ESEA and don't do that well in SCL, we'll of course not be sad. But it's like of course we want it more. But it's like if we can show like ourselves in a good way in both leagues, or at least just in the ESEA, and then hopefully not be super terrible in the SEO, then we're happy.
This definitely being one of those rounds. Come in with 4 M4s and a FAMAS into what's turning out to be quite a pivotal first gun round in the second half. Could definitely decide the fate of the game. If Rogers win this one, they have a chance of at least getting a couple rounds back and maybe starting to believe again. Otherwise, worst takes the cut. Falcon the trade. Rural! A double spray down. Just the Adrenaline tasked with just shutting this one down before it goes any further. That's a 3-on-2. What a shot! Adrenaline comes up with the 1 to definitely halt Tio now in a 1-on-2. Doxy and Maddie wanting instead to shut it down in a more passive sense. Maddie's still looking a little bit for a flank for the longest time. Not sure what he's looking for with the smoke already out in the bomb plant. Now in effect they let him do it. And as he walks away, they still wait. So he does have a kit. Theo peeks back and forth. What a shot. Doxy been left with a tougher task than anticipated. Tapping that bomb, has the kit, walks up, a great duel taken. And round 1 for Doxy that they simply had to get. A bit of retribution for him. And right side, even after winning the previous round, or winning the round prior to the previous. Alright, however you want to put it. A worse state then. Now just with perfect utility across the board and obviously all the right things. You know, for Adrenaline on an AK as well is definitely a bonus. Like him could certainly use it to great effect. Astral walk up quite quickly. Man holding the angle, but it's Suchi on the instant entry. Doxy there for the trade, it's a good one. Needing a bit of backup. Doxy standing on his own. Oh, and he takes down another. How much can Doxy do then? As his teammates start to fall, he does back away. Giving up the bomb plant to instead set up a 3-on-3 retake. Waiting for Rural on the flank, gets a kill. Providing certainly a distraction if nothing else. For players like Tio. Taku as well. Walks up in the smoke as Tio grabs one he's traded. Doxy and Falcon instead walk up now. Falcon sitting on that bomb. The defuse is going to go all the way. As Wrah have another round back. Falcon does fall, but the round was all that mattered at some stage. Just that bit of hope gained back into the system of Wrah. An AWP coming out as a reward for Falcon winning that round. He gets it dropped over. And he runs up towards A. He'll take the peek into ramp. A crucial one. A deadly one. And runs away. With a 5-on-4 in hand, Wrah. A chance to grab something back. Dead on there. Just not getting the damage. Both there. Finally gets caught. Only for the 90% damage. There goes the nade though. And Roll's taken out. Staying persistent with Astral. We might still be expecting Adrenaline over here. Does feel like it. Flag up comes in. Falcon walks back up. A fantastic flick. As Adrenaline picks up another. Astral on their knees all of a sudden with a 2-on-4, which just not winnable. What a round for Falcon. 20 kills he's up to. We'll try. We do have something of a buy going on. can just get one. They're actually flashed away, still gets traded, but that's a bit of momentum. I'd like to see it go back down a little bit. Adrenaline peaks in though. 3-on-3 still on board. Still possible in this round to keep this game alive for just that little bit longer. Adrenaline almost catches off Latarko immediately. That would have been so crucial. Instead they faced another tough retake opportunity. Unless Manny can do something here before that bomb goes down. No utility to do it with. Still gets a kill. To make it a tad easier. Now to finish it instead, Manny gets traded. Otaku stays on the angle as well. Doxy charges him down. It's Adrenaline instead with the 2 kills to keep it alive. Still needing 6 more for the comeback, but some hope brought back for Wrah, and Adrenaline definitely in a career game, I think, with this team. As he spoke about previously, doesn't have a lot of it in the past either, but a lot of those flashy elements and some bright sparks here now. This game definitely one of those bright sparks. Drops it. Facing a high octane mid push. Sees a double trade come through. The rotations are in and they keep on trading it. Rural now. Up ahead against Jack Blue. Unfortunately for him, does lose it out. As Adrenaline's task instead of keeping this one alive, he spotted out. Now in the 1-on-2, running away from the flashbangs, gets 1 kill. It's Jack against Adrenaline. Another point to step up here for the Danish youngster. He's got to keep this one alive. But peeks out straight into him. That's 16-9 instead, locked in. Astral taking it here in the SCL first game of the season. A loss for Wrah Esports. Hopefully not a sign of things to come. Even with a few of the bright spots in there. A rougher one it turns out to be. That's Wrah with a loss. And yet, still a winner on the other end. Make sure to follow all the Wrah socials to keep up with the team. Follow all the players as well, of course, for some of the clips dropping here and now and again. Make sure to follow at Wrah Esports. That is Wrah spelt out and then Esports on Twitter to keep up with everything. You can check out everything there for when we do go live next and so on. Do have a website up as well, so make sure to check all that out, and we'll see you back next time. Until then, take care.